This conference will now be recorded.
So in previous session, we understood what are the different kind of access label we can define for the application, like viewer, manager, editor, to the user group or roles. Let's see how I'm going to do in my Einstein Analytics platform. So to do that, let's log in to your Salesforce, then go to the setup. So go to the app launcher. From app launcher, you can launch my Einstein Analytics Studio. If you didn't, so simply go to my app launcher, then you get my Analytics Studio. Simply click here. So once you click here, what we can do now, I want to give, or I want to share my applications as a viewer, editor, or manager to some other users. So you can click on all item. Once you click on all item, then you can see the applications. Okay, here apps. Okay, now you can take any application. Let's consider I'm going to take my DTC sales, these applications. Click on this drop down, you can see here. Then you can see something called share. Okay. If you click on the share, now it asks to whom I want to share. Okay, so now if you see the share label, I have label to viewer, I have editor, or I have manager, and I already told if I give access to viewer, what kind of thing that user can do in the applications. If I give access as the editor, then what kind of action the user can do in the applications. Or if I want to give as manager access, then what this user can do in the applications. The manager additionally can change the application sharing setting, can change the name, can delete the application. That all things you can do. Let's consider I can search a user. Okay, see now Devasis has added as manager. Okay, entire organization have no access. Okay, if I want to, okay, entire organization can have the viewer access, we can define here. So anybody from the organization can log into log into Analytics Studio, and they can access this application easily. If I want, then I can set as viewer. Okay, or if I want entire organization to be set as editor, that also we can do. And if I want to find out any specific user, for example, if I go to here, let me take one user here, so that you will see. Sorry, click on the users, and you can simply find out users here. So let's see, I am going to take username as security user. There is a user called security user whom I want to give access as editor. Simply I can click edit editor, and I can click on add. So I have given. So same way, if I want, okay, I want to give access to some role, and under that role, who are my subordinates. If I want to give that kind of access, that also I can do. So which role I want? Let's see, I want somebody. Let me see if we have defined any role in the new world. So if we go to role hierarchy, let me, okay, we didn't set up the role yet. Okay, once you set up the roles, then we can see what we can do. Okay, so it's the default roles what we have. Let's see, I'm going to set as sales role, for example. Once you type the role name, it will come here. Then you can select what kind of access you want to give. If you want to give to the role, and all the subordinate of that role, they can have the same privilege also. And if you want to define a public group, let's say instead of adding, let's say there is 5 users whom I want to give as editor access. So instead of adding one by one, what I can do, simply I can create a public group. Like here you can go, I hope you know about the public group. You can go to my public group from the setup, and you can create a public group simply here. Let's say I will tell the public group as a sales group, for example. I said it as a sales group. Okay, so in the sales group, whom I want to add some roles. Let's say all these roles I want to add. Let's consider I want to add few users. They all are part of sales group. Okay, and I click on the save. So now this is a group I created with multiple users, and I want my application what I have. Let me refresh it. Okay, I have my application, which is nothing but my DTC sales application. I click on the share, then I want to add this to my public group. Okay, so that kind of setup you can do once you create a public group and once it's synced, then you can get that public group what you want, and then you can define what kind of access privilege you want to give. Okay, and once you give the access privilege, it will be same as the discussion what we had here. So what they can do in the system. Okay, simply it's about the sharing. Okay, so when somebody asks how I can do the mass sharing of the application in Einstein platform, the simplest answer, we have to create a public group. Okay, or we can do by role and subordinates. This role subordinates or public group basically we call as mass sharing of the applications. Create a public group, then give the access how you want. So everything can be done as you want. See, this is my public group is ready. Now, once I go to my Einstein Analytics Studio, if I want to do mass sharing, I can do the sharing either by my public group or by my, let me go to my DTC cell, click on share. I hope now my group will come here. Not coming still. Once this once you create the group before, then this group name will come here. And if you set up the roles already available, then these roles also will come here. You can see here. Okay, then you can give what kind of access you want to give simply. Okay, so this is the way how we share the applications, and depending on the sharing, you can control what you can do. So in the next session, we'll see how I'm going to impose row level security, or you can say security predicate in my Einstein platform. That's a very important topic, and it's quite easy. You can understand it so easily. Let's see in the next session. Thank you.